for the first few times before I moved here. It's really nice to have that, that energy that you feel, and to meet other people that are experiencing this country for the first time. It's always nice to relive that energy. Tonight, my guest is Kursat Basar. We've been talking about the training industry in Turkey. And Kursat, so you travel to many countries, and I think at least 10 countries now you've been to in
Yes.
regards to your work. So that's a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
I like to ask this question to people that come from Turkey. They travel, especially to European countries or to America.
Yeah.
Are people surprised when they meet you? Are they expecting something different, like do they expect the fez and things like that, or what? For the States, for example, what was were they surprised, or how did that work?
Yes, they are surprised. I can say.
Mm-hmm.
I can say yes. They're not expecting fast, but we surprised them with our knowledge on the products we produce, or the mechanical issues, or our mechanical abilities.
Mm-hmm.
They surprised. We can ask. We asked so many questions. Maybe the instructor at that facility, we made him in very hard times.
Yeah, so he was in the position you are sometimes.
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay, let me check. We'll talk to that tomorrow. About that tomorrow. Oh, that's good. How about in England and Europe? Was similar sort of things? Like England, I know that on this side of the Atlantic Ocean, people have more understanding of where Turkey is.
Yeah.
In England, was it a similar sort of thing? Were they a little more aware of what they would expect, the people who came to the training?
Yeah. The instructor in England also, we surprised him
Mm-hmm.
with our qualification.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go to a training facility for us, we of course prepare ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
not expecting only the training, but we prepare ourselves what we are going to ask,
Mm-hmm.
or in the future what we are going to need. In this kind of questions, we are going to prepare ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, or I'm sure, they are surprised. They
Mm-hmm.
were surprised with our background.
Right. And am I correct? You also did some training in Germany as well?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. So Germany has a more closer tie to Turkey. How about there? Was there any surprises there, or were they?
Yes, I can say.
Yeah.
The language becomes a little bit difficult, because they use English, but not
Mm-hmm.
as we do.
Mm-hmm.
But even in these conditions, we can understand each other, and on the technical side, they are more focused on the technical issues,
Mm-hmm.
not the rest of the things.
Right. Yeah. Well, I know that this is sort of a reoccurring theme that I've talked with different people, especially guests of mine that are from Germany. They have this understanding of, the Turkish population in Germany, and there is some friction. We know that, it's not a
Yeah.
secret.
Yeah.
But what I find is a lot of people there, when they travel here, they realize that there is this other labor force, the professional labor force.
Yeah.
A lot of the labor force there is factory labor,
Mhm.
in a sense. So
Yeah.
they kind of know that particular group.
Yeah.
When they meet the engineers and professionals, they're always really surprised. Was that the same thing that you
Yes,
found?
exactly.
Yeah.
The conversation between the instructor in the Germany, he's surprised with us.
Mhm.
He told us that you are totally different than the Turkish people who are living in Germany.
Really?
So It's the difference, I think, that you mentioned. I think they expect all the Turkish people is like the people who is living in Germany.
Right. Yeah. There is a different aspect, and like when like I've had 2 or 3 people now here on my show who are originally from Europe or from Germany, and they come here. They're highly accepted and welcomed into society.
Yeah.
And there's a little more sort of a segregation in Europe, maybe because of the numbers of people or things like that. But I'm always happy to hear that there is when you travel for your work, you also act as sort of like an honorary ambassador for the technical field that you work in, and this is always a wonderful thing to hear. In regards to the questions you ask, are they based on your needs, or do you know, because of you're dealing with questions from the Middle East, from Africa, from different countries, those questions may be different than the questions you have. Do you bring those questions with you, or do you pretty much have an idea of what you want to ask?
Depending on the area, of course, the trainees or the trainers have different questions. If you travel to East, on my area, I can say, people try to repair things more than on the European side. On the European side, they change basically the part. They use the new part. But if you travel to East, because of the culture, I think they try to repair something. So this is the major difference between East and West, as I saw.
Okay, so there is an actual technical philosophy that's different.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Is it in all the sort of like Middle Eastern and African areas, or is there specific areas that do this, or is it sort of this place, that place is different, or?
No, I cannot say that the specific country or the region, but the side, East and West, I can say, depending on the Turkey.
Right. So when you go into these trainings, you have to sort of like ask questions like, so can we re-weld this, and will it work?
Yes, they can ask these kind of questions. Depending on the ability to get spare parts or things, they try to repair something. If they have enough ability or good facility, they can repair. They try to do their best. But if they don't have, they try to repair. Even sometimes we don't want them to do
that particular thing.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Well, I guess in a sense too, though, given the fact that the type of vehicles they're working with, they have to have a quick turnaround sometimes, and maybe if that part isn't available, they have to make it work because of the urgency of the use of the vehicle. So you have to kind of know these things as well. It's quite interesting to see. The on the other side, now we talked about Europeans, seeing you. Now you're Turkish engineers traveling to the Middle East or traveling to Africa or having these people come. Are they surprised as to what they expected? Did they think it would be different, or?
Yes, exactly. For our, I can say our guests, I can say, most of them surprised when they visit our facility. They don't accept this kind of improved technological facility. Even from the West, from the East, they are surprised.
Right. I guess that's right. I was mentioning Europe as areas of training, but you also have clients that are also in Europe as well. So they're coming here as well. So they're saying,